right.
Hey Sam.
Hey Kyle, how's it going?
Not too bad. Just
Good.
podcast time again.
Podcast time again, sooner than we expected actually, because we kind of said it'd be once a month, but you know we're starting off with a bang.
2 weeks, 2 in 1 month.
I know. Well, welcome to episode 2 of the Jolly Co-op podcast, because we have a sort of name now, you know. That's what we'll go with. And thank you to everyone who listened last week. We had, I think, a total of 12 listens. So
12?
You know, yeah, I think so. The hype is gone though after week 1. You know, it'll all drop off from there. The numbers will start dropping down. You know.
I don't know.
So we can hope for
this is a sequel. So I mean, think of like Terminator 2. You know, that was arguably better than the first one.
That's true,
so,
and it drew big numbers. You know. Big box office hit. Well, we can hope to get 3 to 6 listens, I reckon, anyway.
3 to 6. So no returning customers, none from last week, or just like 3. half the numbers of last week. Half of them didn't like it.
Hopefully there'll be new ones. I didn't like any of the people that listened last week. No, I'm just joking. I think, you know, lots of friends listened, which was nice, you know, given their support for us talking about video games. Do you want to talk about video games? That's something that we could do. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, we'll start with the games we've been playing, since it will hopefully be fresh in your mind.
Too fresh.
Have you been having a fair session on Destiny? Have you not?
I've been hitting the Destiny. I've been hitting it hard. A couple of mates got it for Christmas, so I've been hitting the Destiny.
That old chestnut.
I took a wee bit of time out from Destiny. It was, I don't know, from the Taken King. I was the only person who had it. I mean, Sam, you used to play it, didn't you?
Yeah, I played it for a good while. I think maybe 6 to 8 months, something like that. I think.
But you didn't buy into the whole Taken King thing.
No, I didn't. I got was it The Dark Below and House of Wolves? Is that right?
That was the one, yeah.
Yeah, I got those 2, and I don't know. I didn't play much of House of Wolves, even though I heard that was, you know, a good improvement on Destiny. And then I heard the Taken King was a really good improvement as well. And, you know, they were kind of listening to what people wanted. But I missed out on that. I just wanted to start playing something else. And it was consuming too much of my time.
I'm getting that. It's been all I've played since the last podcast, I think. I've been jumping on in the afternoon and try to get in the bounties, you know.
Getting about those bounties.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if I even particularly like the game. I think it suffers from the same as most MMOs in the fact that it's just a grind to try and get better stuff so you can be better at the game and therefore play the game more and do the same again.
It's pretty RNG as well, you know, like this. Yeah, well, I mean, it was anyway. When we do it, we'd be doing the same things every week in the vain hope that we'd get some sort of legendary gear or whatever, exotic.
Every day.
The weekly heroic strike and the weekly nightfall, it was a weekly ritual for us, but it barely ever paid off.
No, I've only recently started picking up exotics, and I think that seems to be the thing which are the most sought after because, you know, they're gold, right? So
yeah, I mean, there's some that you can cheese a game with, or at least it was at that time. There was the Gjallarhorn that was the more powerful of the rocket launchers that you could. You pretty much needed to have that to do one of the raids, the Crota raid, and then
Did you have it?
I got it right when I stopped playing, pretty much. I think, in fact, Zero was selling it, so I picked it up then. But the other one that I had was Icebreaker sniper rifle, which basically reloaded its own bullets after there was a cooldown period.
Okay,
that was really handy. Yeah, you could just sit there and cheese somebody from a wee corner for the whole sort of raid or whatever, you know. So it was there was a couple of really, really useful exotic weapons, you know, which I'm sure they've been replaced by something else now. But
yeah, the tier 1 stuff, the year 1 stuff has been nerfed and replaced.
Okay.
It seems to me that, I mean, I obviously, since yourself and a few other of the old PHC crew are no longer playing Destiny, I'm having to sort of play with other folks who aren't necessarily as cohesive, I'll say, as some of the old crew. But putting a raid team together is difficult, man. I mean, 6 people, and you can't do it without 6 people.
Oh, they don't make it
does
easy
mean-
either, you know.
I mean, did you have 6 people playing when the team was together?
I think we had a constant 5, so we'd have to split up for Nightfall and stuff like that, and then we'd go on, what's it called, LFG or something, the Destiny website, and just find someone who had a Galahorn, and then we'd go for Crota's Bell End, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been enjoying. You know, PlayStation 4 has community pages. If you go into your friends list, there are a couple of Destiny community pages which people go on and sort of announce that they are this light level and they want to join a raid, or they name a specific raid and looking for another player. So I've had 2 attempts at the King's raid, which is interesting. Obviously, this is my first experience of like a raid, so it was after playing all these repetitive bounties day in day out, it was quite interesting to see something a wee bit less familiar.
That's it, and especially I assume it'll be pretty difficult, was it?
Yes. Listeners will probably know what I'm talking about when there's a bit near the start where you have to jump ship to ship. I did not make it to the other side, and the other team had got first-person platforming.
Not good. There was a bit in one of the other raids, the first raid, I think we had to do platforming, and I think I watched everyone stand at the other side of this big pit while I fucking fell to my death numerous times.
Yeah, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I was listening to some Americans sort of take the piss out of my accent, but
oh, that's always good. You always get that, you know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it not being? How do you feel about the raids not being, being able to just team up with randoms or whatever?
Yeah, I don't see why they don't have matchmaking. I mean, it seems like you're being forced to speak to folks. Although, in some regards, I mean, these raids they do sort of force team communication to be at a high level, because you want like 2 folks to go this way, 2 folks to go that way, and then like there's a boss in the King's Fall raid where somebody has to take an enemy's gaze, and it's best that you stand in this specific spot and get the gaze while everyone else shoots fuck out of it, you know. So communication is obviously key, and
I think that was one of the main reasons Destiny Bungie didn't want to do matchmaking for it, because they didn't want you to get stuck with a player that doesn't have a mic, and then I mean, especially for the first 2 raids, I don't know about the next one, but it was really, really reliant on the same as what you were saying. You know, people need to split and go into different positions, and someone had to do something, someone had to do something else. You know, and I think it wouldn't have really worked if you had a player who didn't have a mic or something like that. You know.
But I mean, it's quite interesting. I mean, you'll obviously, I've not done any of the year 1 raids or anything, but the scope of the game increased significantly when I was playing the raid. I mean, the level design and everything, even the tasks that you had to do in these raids was nothing that I'd ever seen in the rest of Destiny. So it was, I don't know, it was refreshing. It was some of the best
content, I think. It was just a shame that you had to do it over and over again, you know.
It was a shame that you had to try and befriend like 5 new. Well, I had to befriend 5 new people every time I wanted to do one. And and they don't want to know someone who hasn't done the raid before, so it's a catch-22. You know?
That's it.
Like, oh,
it's
you
difficult
haven't
for
done
newcomers,
it?
I think, to get into it, you know. Plus, you know, speaking to other people, God, fuck's sake.
Just turn my mic off. Just tell me what to do, and I'll go and do it.
Just shout orders at me. I'll be submissive, you know.
So
that's how my life goes.
So after this, I'll be back on Destiny.
That's Destiny then, I guess. I don't think you'll catch me there for a while.
No, I was very tempted to. I saw Destiny on UK Hot Deals for like 20 quid. I was tempted to just send you a code and not tell you what it was for.
A wee present.
So at least I could have somebody to do a. Well, maybe we could find 4 folks rather than the full 5. You know.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, if you ever feel generous, man, you know, bung me up. But I don't want to let you down and, you know, just do what I always do, which is just be all, you know, not very friendly and play games by myself, you know.
Yeah. well, you want to buy the division so you can get the team back together. Well, the team's already got Destiny.
Well, we'll probably come to the division in a wee bit, but talking of being antisocial and not talking to anyone and immersing myself in things, and I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy VII, which I think we talked about a bit last week, because obviously there's the remake happening, which I now feel like I'm slightly more interested in, even from the last time we spoke.
Right.
Because I'm really, really enjoying Final Fantasy. I've been trying to work out when I first played it, and I don't know, I think I must have been about, I'm guessing 12, something like that,
Right.
But I think a lot of it maybe went over my head. I didn't understand a lot of the little subtle jokes, and it's a nice game. It's I don't know. The jokes are funny. I like it,
So how far have you gotten it?
I've gone up Shinra's Tower. I've done all that shit. I was on a boat, and what's his name? Sephiroth. Is that how you say it? Sephiroth showed up.
Yep.
And he killed all the crew. And I got off the boat, and that was about where I finished, I think. So I've crossed the ocean anyway, if that means anything. I rode a chocobo, and crossed the ocean.
Right. It's been a while
but
since
I like the
played
combat
it,
as well,
Yeah.
I find the combat relaxing. I don't like shooters because I'm shit at them, and I've got to be all, have good reflexes and stuff. I like being able to take my time, think about what I'm going to do next, watch an animation, smoke a fag, come back. That I like that.
Well, I mean, there's still an element of time based in the Final Fantasy VII one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's not like the enemy doesn't attack you until you've done your attacks. It does. There's actually like a timer for you to attack, but your enemy can attack you while your timer's going down, sort of thing.
Ah, okay.
So
I better not have fags then.
So no, it's not like the other ones, as far as I can remember. I mean, you've played it
I never
more
could
recently
quite
than
work
me.
that out, I never quite wondered. I always wondered whether that was the case, whether there was a timer, but I don't know.
Like, if you have a look at the other Final Fantasies, after that one, 10 springs to mind, where there's an attack order, and it will show you the monsters at the top of the screen and who's going to be attacking next. And some spells like haste will make you attack before they get a chance to, or if you cast slow on them, then they get put back, that sort of thing.
Huh. So it gives you another layer of depth,
of JRPG.
I guess, to the combat.
So yeah, standard JRPG nonsense.
Well, I don't think I'll be, getting into too many JRPGs after this, but I am enjoying it. I like it.
No?
I'm not so sure how I feel about if it's not going to be, turn-based combat when it comes to the remake, but I'm interested to see what they do with it anyway.
Yes, apparently it's going to be more like I don't know if you've played Kingdom Hearts.
No, I keep meaning to pick it up actually.
There's one for the collection, I think.
Yeah, I've seen it floating around a lot. It's just one of those games I'll pick up when I see it for a good price,
PlayStation 2, not the PlayStation 3 remake, obviously.
Nah,
both. Let's get both.
Sticking to the old fat PS2, But I think that's
is that it?
We won't talk about Bloodborne.
No.
I played some Dark Souls 2. We did you saw some of it, I think, but we did a slightly intoxicated stream on the Saturday night, and we played a whole bunch of FromSoft games. But I don't think we really need to dwell too much on Dark Souls 2 either. We've pretty much covered everything there as well. I am downloading, I think it's called Among the Sleep, which I was going to stream maybe tomorrow or something like that. I don't know if you've seen anything of it.
I have not. Tell me about Among the Sleep.
It's reduced on the store at the moment. I think it's about $5.50, something like that. I think you play like a toddler, and it's you get put to bed, and then it's like a first-person kind of survival horror thing, So it looks kind of interesting.
That's a toddler.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of twist on it. You're playing a small kid. I don't know how old you're meant to be or anything like that, but it looks kind of spooky. Hopefully there'll be some skeletons or something.
Spooky skeletons.
Yeah. I always keep my eye on what's reduced on the PlayStation Store and pick it up and hope that it doesn't get. We don't really seem to be getting many good free games at the moment, but I'm hoping we'll get something good soon, which is why I hold off buying some things.
I've just noticed what games we're going to be getting next month, and it's still just a sea of mediocrity.
Yeah, Helldivers, I don't know much about it, but
Nope.
twin stick shooter, I know it's twin stick shooter, and I just, no bother. We got the Binding of Isaac, that'll do me for that kind of top-down sort of game, you know.
Yeah.
Anything else you played this week, Cal?
No, it's just been Destiny out my nut.
Sorry, I'm really full. I keep burping and almost being sick of myself. It's interesting.
I played a bit of the Little Big Planet 3, but that's not really anything of noteworthy. Have you played any Little Big Planets?
Nah, I've never played it. I've always kind of wondered what the deal is with it.
It's well, you see what they've done with Mario Maker and games like that. It's essentially, you know, you play through an assortment of created levels, and then you have through these creative levels you pick up stickers and items that you can create your own levels, and you can download people's levels and play them. Essentially, it's
Okay.
rather quaint. It's obviously intended for the younger generation, but it's a solid platformer. And
Yeah,
it's got some
I
pretty
think my
funky
sister's
music,
got it.
you know. Well,
I might
don't
give it a
reduce
go
me
at
to
some
that.
point. They've got a new game coming out, haven't they? Dreams.
Have they? Oh, right. Yeah, because the creative team behind the first two Little Big Planets have moved on to other things, and this is actually created by a new studio.
Oh, okay, right.
So
So
is it
from the creators of Little Big Planet.
right. So that'll be the original team, I'd imagine.
Okay, well, I'll keep my eye out for it. It looks kind of interesting, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the sort of thing I'll be into, you know.
You're not into your platformers?
I like some things, you know. I like my Mega Drive platformers and that, but I'll maybe give it a go when I'm back home again. I've seen my sister's PS3 is still sitting there in the box with some decent games actually, so I'll give that a
Pinch
go.
it.
Yeah, well, she's back now, so she'll probably want it, you know. I won't steal any more of her stuff because I stole her pink guitar as well. So
I remember
if
that.
you follow me on Instagram, you can see that horrible thing there as well.
Was that one of the Daisy Rock guitars?
No, it's a Dean
No?
guitar actually, you know.
Oh, right. Is it hardcore?
So
It's
it's
got
got
the
a-
big wide necks.
Yeah, it does, and it's got the full coloured neon pink neck and things like that, which is pretty
Wow.
cool.
Manly.
I'll send you a picture after this. Guitar porn.
Excellent.
There's not much else. It's been a quiet week, and since I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII for the next, well, it's probably like 60 hours to go or something, it's probably going to be a boring section for the next couple of months. The last thing I played, and this was maybe a little more than a week ago, was Just Cause 3, which I played at Grant's. Hi, Grant, because I know he listened last time, and he liked his little shout out, so we'll hook him in for another week with another shout out. But yeah, I played some Just Cause 3. You played it?
Nope. I played the demo for Just Cause 2. That's about it.
Okay, I'd never picked up any of them. The flying mechanic's pretty good. It's quite satisfying, although I don't know, for sections where you've maybe got to like land on a platform or you've got to get up something. Maybe it's just because I didn't play it for that long and wasn't particularly good at it, but I found it quite frustrating at points. But when you're in a big open area and you're gliding around, you know, it's quite satisfying. But I don't know, the map, although it was large, felt awful empty and void of much character. Again, you know, I've only played it for an hour or so, but there wasn't much going on, and every mission seemed to be pretty much go to this thing, blow up a big thing, and shoot some people and then just glide away, you know.
From what I got from the second Just Cause game, it is just a sandbox. Here, go and play. Here's some game mechanics.
That's it.
And from what I've seen of this new one, it is a case of like, I mean, you can strap rockets and things to vehicles, and you can just piss about basically. Obviously,
yeah, I've seen some inventive stuff with it, like the guy who tethered that poor man between two buildings by his legs and then C4'd his cock and balls and fired him off into space. So it gives absolute fucking sadists a chance to act out those things, you know, which is good. It probably saves a few lives, I guess. But I don't think it was for me. I read somewhere that it was meant to be an online only kind of PC game or something like that, and so midway through they decided they were going to make it a full game, so I guess that would explain why it's maybe a little sparse in areas and things like that.
Yep.
I hope I didn't offend Grant. Thank you for letting me play it.
But I mean, that's what we were talking about last week. It's one of these open world sandbox games, and they're fucking everywhere. So I'm sick of them.
Yeah,
I know this one is just about pissing about, but I mean, it needs to be backed up with a story and like a reason to do so, rather than just here's a world and a parachute and a glider and go have fun, make your own fun.
Yeah, and plenty of C4. Don't forget the C4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's it. That's all I've really been playing this week. So again, we managed to not talk about Bloodborne too much.
Bloodborne.
We might have to get a Bloodborne jar where we put a penny in every time we say
like a swear jar.
The B word. The B word. We've got there's not a huge amount of stuff coming out at the moment either. It's still a little bit early, I think. So maybe it'll be a shorter show, because the last one was fucking epic.
It was huge.
Yeah, man. We were, an hour and 45 minutes. I think we're about 20 minutes in now, so we're doing well, I reckon. We're pacing ourselves good.
Slowing down, I think. Like, I haven't played as much games since Destiny and Final Fantasy took over.
I know. Such boring bastards, man. It's just money as well, To play new things, I need cash dollars, and I got to go to work, which means I can't play video games. It's a vicious cycle.
Segue. What games did you buy? You mentioned them earlier, but what retro games did you buy?
I bought a game. I'm trying to kick the habit of buying too many retro games because I've got real world things I need to save for, but it's really difficult. I see a bargain, I want it,
Yep.
Yeah, real life stuff. But I picked up Aladdin finally on the Mega Drive after a little eBay kerfuffle. But yeah, I got a copy cheaper and better condition, so that was good. I also bought Home Alone on the Mega Drive just because I like Home Alone. It'll probably be shit, but I like buying movie tie-in games basically from that sort of era,
Sadist.
I can't help it.
Sadist.
The last thing, I got Final Fantasy 3 on the DS as well, which I might play at some point when I go on a long journey or something like that, but it'll sit on the back shelf, I reckon. What else did I waste money on? The last game I think I bought, at least I hope I bought, because sometimes stuff comes through the door and I don't even realise, but I bought a game called Cold Fear, I think it's called, on the PS2.
Okay. Never heard of it, no?
No, it's a survival horror game. I'd imagine it would be a sort of Resident Evil kind of clone. I think it takes place in the Arctic or maybe on a boat, I'm not sure. Yeah.
There's Kurt Russell there with a big beard.
There's a grizzly looking man on the front, so
sounds good.
It's maybe going to be a Thing rip-off, which I'm fine with.
No bad thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm
especially
okay with
Kurt
that.
Russell. I'd go gay for Kurt Russell in that movie. It was awesome.
We can only pray for Kurt Russell. I'll always remember watching that film when I was really little and just seeing, I think the first scene I walked in to see was where the guy's giving him the, what do you call him, defibrillator, and his stomach turns into a big mouth and bites his hands off. It fucking terrified me for years after that.
It's great.
Excuse me, just going to have to wet the whistle there. I'm drying my mouth out.
They brought out a Thing game. I think it was for the PlayStation 2 or the Xbox. So.
The Thing game, yeah, I've seen that floating around as well. Again, I'll pick it up at some point, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I played a tiny little bit of an X-Files game I bought for the PS2 because the new season came out on Sunday, I think.
Uh-huh.
Don't know if you're a big X-Files fan. I'm not a huge X-Files fan, but I'll probably watch the new season, see what like.
Yeah.
I've been watching some of the old ones.
I only heard that it wasn't that amazing, but...
Yeah. I've heard bad things.
Nostalgia.
Did you watch the Evil Dead thing?
I did, yeah. I watched all of it.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I only saw the first episode, I think, but I need to catch up on that as well, because that was quite good.
I wasn't sold for the first episode, and then it's kind of like The Walking Dead. I mean, you know how...
He jumped into the air and connected his gun, man.
Yeah.
Did that not pull you in?
The abundance of CGI was just really jarring. But then...
True.
I'm a big fan of prosthetics and practical effects.
Which Evil Dead was known for, I suppose, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, gallons and gallons of blood coming out of a wall when he shoots that hand in Evil Dead 2, you know.
The pencil in the leg, you know.
Yeah, that was what Evil Dead 1, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I'm a big fan of that sort of thing, and, you know, to diminish it with crappy CGI. Although, I mean, I did watch the whole thing, as I say, and it does make it that bit cheesier, and so I see where they're
better,
going
does
with
it?
Yeah, well, you notice the shitty CGI, but it's intentional.
Yeah. There was some practical effects, was there not?
Yeah, there was.
I remember thinking a couple of the effects in the first episode were kind of like shit but good, you know.
Well, think of the doll scene in the first episode.
Oh
Wasn't a
yeah,
big fan
yeah.
of that.
Yeah, that was an interesting scene. I'll need to rewatch that and then watch it all, I think, at some point. But there's a new film coming out, I think, as well. Is he not doing a new film?
I believe so. Although I think it might have been just a series. Although I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It could be a tie-in. Have you played any of the Evil Dead games? Because there's another set of games that you could get into.
Yeah, I bought. Is it Hail? No, not Hail to the King. I bought Fistful of Boomsticks
Yes.
for the PS1 about a month ago. Actually, I can't remember if it's a big box version. No, I don't think it is. But I've not got a chance to play any of it yet. It's a sort of Resident Evil clone, is it not?
Not quite. Fistful of Boomstick is you run about. It's kind of like an isometric. Don't know. Kind of like Diablo in regards to perspective, and then you just go about. You saw up deadites and do shitty wee missions. It's not amazing, but
Worth a punt though.
Bruce Campbell does the voice, so you know there's.
I was going to ask, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
classic.
I'll give that a shot. I'll plug in the PS1 at some point and give that a go, and then I can talk about it, how bad it was. I've seen a couple of videos of it, and I don't know. Yeah, people don't always talk nicely of it, but it's the kind of game I just want to own. I like the box art and everything like that. You know, I like anything Evil Dead really. The Division beta is coming out on Friday. I know you're excited for that. I don't actually have a code for it. Some guy on stream last night was like, "I'll give you a code, man," and he was like, you know, CGX-413. I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." He was like, "Oh, I'm only joking, eh? Go fuck yourself, mate. Go fuck yourself."
Dick. Hope you're listening.
I was like, "Oh, that's so nice, man. That's really nice here." I think I made him feel bad actually, because otherwise he probably would have just run with it and let me put that fucking shit fake code in. You know, what a bastard. But I messaged you the other day and said I was probably going to get it because a couple of guys at work are getting it. So you know, maybe it'll drag me out of this insociable slump I'm in. But I'm not. I'm worried, Kyle. I'm worried. You probably know why. I think it's been a long drawn out thing, and the hype was real for a while. But now I just worry that it's going to be a bucket of shite, as most of these things are. You know, you get excited for something, and then your dreams are crushed by some major corporation. You know.
I'm a pessimist, so it's always been a bucket of shite for me. It's got to prove to me that it's not a bucket of shite.
Well, you're a glass half empty kind of guy like me, I suppose. But I mean, I watched some footage of it, and you know, it's got the whole. I didn't expect this, but it's got the whole Destiny like proper MMO thing with numbers coming out your fucking head and that. I was hoping for a bit more gritty realism, you know. I watched a guy take like 6 shotgun shells to the face and then just stand there, you know, as well. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. I was hoping it would be a bit more, you know, harsh.
Maybe you should just play Destiny instead, Sam.
Well,
maybe you should just play Destiny.
I'd be spending the same money either way, though, you know. So I've already spent like 120 quid on fucking Destiny.
Ouch. Well,
I don't think it's getting any more of mine. It's no Halo.
Well, look what happened.
No Halo 3. And I don't think I'm that interested in the new Halo either.
No, it was Dave telling you about it?
Yeah, he's played it. He said it was good enough, but he's a bit of a Halo fan, and he
tried to justify his purchase of an Xbox One.
What's that?
Just try to justify his purpose. His console allegiance with an Xbox One.
Yeah, he's trying. You know, we'll show no favoritism here. This is a mutual podcast. They've got that game Cuphead coming out, you know, so
Yeah,
Lucky
Cuphead.
bastards.
That's their saviour.
See, that's a game that you can boast about. Well, we hope, unless it turns out to be shit like The Division.
Bucket
Imagine
of
if Dark Souls 3 was shit, Cal.
Well, it's a bucket of shit until proven otherwise.
It might have microtransactions.
It will. It'll be, like, every time you die, you'll have to pay £1.
You can get a fucking, like a great sword with weed leaves on it, but you have to pay $1.29, you know? But yeah, we should add Dark Souls to the swear jar as well. So we've got a DS jar and a B jar.
But what happens when it comes out, or they release a new trailer or something?
We'll have to lift the ban. Did you watch that video you sent me the link of the other day? The one that was all Japanese and it was going to announce something about Dark Souls 3?
No, I went back and it had been taken down. So, I mean, but that was from the official FromSoft page, so I don't know what it was. And there's been no news today about it, so no idea. I clicked on the link that I sent you to see where it had gone, and it's gone into this has been removed, or this video is now private.
I'll tell you what it probably was.
Porn.
It was probably Half-Life 3.
Oh, don't. VR Half-Life 3.
They panicked. FromSoft is doing the new Half-Life, you know? Permadeath and all that shenanigans.
Microtransactions.
But, yeah, we'll be able to talk about Dark Souls 3 a lot in the next couple of months, I reckon.
Try and hold me back.
Oh, I won't try and stop you, baby. I won't try and stop you. I'll be right there with you. Well, probably really far behind you, but I'll be there. I want to ask a question.
Sounds ominous.
I'm annoyed.
That's not a question.
Well, where is Gone Home? I want my Gone Home fix on PS4.
What happened? Tell me more.
Well, I don't really know that much, but it was meant to come out, I think it was last week or something like that. Right. Never materialised. The reviews came out and stuff, or at least a couple of reviews came out anyway. And then, yeah, it just never materialised. And I think, last I read, it was something to do with the ratings in EU and Australia or something like that. Right. So I think America maybe got it, but we didn't. Which is a shame, because I was looking forward to streaming that and playing it again. And I only got a wee while in, so I had the rest of the game to enjoy, you know. I didn't know how it ended.
Gone Home's the first person wondering about a house simulator, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you read your sister's diary or something. I can't really remember, but...
Sounds enthralling.
It had a good atmosphere to it. Had a spooky skeleton atmosphere, and yeah, I don't know, I kind of enjoyed it.
Spooky skeleton atmosphere with undertones of teenage lesbianism.
Yeah, I got them vibes. You got that too?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if they ended up scissoring each other or what happened, you know.
Sugar Rush Simulator.
Do you remember that show?
Yeah, man.
What a fucking crock of shite, but be damned if I didn't watch every episode.
Yeah. So.
Well, that was my question, but I want it. I want it soon. You know how I enjoy a good walking simulator.
I know how you love to stream walking simulators.
Oh man, I love it because I can just talk absolute shite, and you know I don't have to be good at the game. No one's gonna go, "Oh, get wrecked, nerd. You fucking suck. I fucked your mum," you know.
Do you get them?
Because they're just walking too. Nowhere near me. It's good. I love walking simulators. I don't know if this counts as a walking simulator, but and again, I'm hoping this is maybe something you know about, Kyle. The Witness came out this week.
The Witness.
Yeah.
I'm in the dark here. I've obviously been in Destiny goggles for.
Oh my god! You need to quit that shit.
Wait.
Yeah.
That is by the guy who Blow.
Jonathan Blow.
Jonathan Blow. That's it.
That's the one.
Yeah, the one who he and Phil Fish said that they would not talk about their games to up-and-coming developers, so that's when the internet exploded, and Phil Fish quit the internet, and Mr. Blow has gone into obscurity. I
love it when the internet explodes, you know?
Yeah, especially with Phil Fish, because he's a twat. But yeah, The Witness, that's the one I sent you, actually. The one where you're on an island and you go about and you solve puzzles, kind of like the Talos Principle, but not as good, I'm guessing.
Yeah, apparently you solve a lot of fucking puzzles. A lot of puzzles, which is why I'm not getting it, because my brain is fucked, and I won't be able to do that. And then I'll be streaming, and someone will say, "Oh, that fucking puzzle 360 no scoped you, get wrecked, nerd," which I don't want. But I've watched a couple of other people streaming it, and yeah, it doesn't look like anything that interests me. I'm not familiar with the other game he did either, Braid.
Braid was great.
You might have played that.
I loved it. It was an awesome game. One of the games that got me into indie games in general, because it came out
like
for the
a story-driven
360
game.
It's again a puzzle-driven game. You can read the storyline, but I never bothered because I can't.
That's why I never played
words on a screen. Come on. It's like for somebody who goes about Skyrim and reads all the books. Why'd you do that? Why?
Absolute fucking freaks.
If you want to fucking read a game, why don't you just read a book?
Exactly. I agree
Save
with
your
you.
electric bill. But no, I quite like Braid. Again, it's one of these things that changes the mechanics from level to level. Sort of the first one, you find out that you can reverse time. Second one, if you walk forwards, then everything goes, all the time goes forward. If you walk backwards, and it goes back in time, so your enemies come back to life and things like that. It changes it up, and you have to try and find ways to get specific puzzle pieces, and then you do a wee jigsaw, and it's good fun. But
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sold on it. You haven't sold me on it, but I hear good things about it for people that like puzzle games, and I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they like puzzle games.
I really like puzzle.
I really
games.
am. I'm happy that they're smart.
For games like The Witness, for example. I mean, I'm currently playing through the Talos Principle, and I'm in my element. I mean, it's a really nice looking game. I get to use what intellect I do have to try and solve puzzles.
Don't be like that. You're a smart guy, man.
And it's kind of a knockback to like a Portal, because you had to use your head to try and get through Portal.
Oh yeah, that's why I never got through that either. I'm a fucking gamer.
But you're walking Sims.
I can't. Even my sister's completed fucking Portal.
Has she?
She has, and Portal 2, I think.
No way. Yeah, so I'm interested in The Witness, but the thing that kind of puts me off is the price tag. For an indie game to be 30 quid, don't know, like...
Ooh, is that how much it costs?
It is. I'm looking at it right now on the Humble Store. It's $28.99 on the Humble Store.
I wonder how much it is on PS4 then.
Yeah, I dread to think. It'll be probably about 44, I'd imagine.
That's crazy. I mean, I paid, it's not it kind of is an indie game, is it? Soma. I think it was 25 quid for that or something.
Ouch, man. You need to get that gaming PC up.
I know. A lot of money for a game that I played for an hour.
Did you not like it, or?
I don't know. I thought the monsters were pretty shit. Some of the atmosphere was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought when the actual monsters were revealed, it was kind of a bit gash. They just sort of walk around in a circle, and you get to. It's kind of like the whole Jaws thing. You get to see them so much that it's not really very scary anymore. And once you learn how to manipulate the AI to get away from them or whatever, it's not so good. But I've heard it's got a good story, so I'll either watch a let's play of it and piss on the £20 note, or I'll actually crack on and play it a little bit.
So who's the developers of that? Is it Paradox?
I don't know the name, but the guys. I think it's guys who did Amnesia.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
The Dark Descent and Penumbra, rather than Machine for Pigs, because that was
not Machine for Pigs.
The Chinese Room, who are known for their walking sims.
Yeah,
they did Everybody's Gone to the Rapture and Dear Esther, and Machine for Pigs.
I liked Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
I did too. It was good. I walked about.
I think we talked about it a little bit last week, actually, briefly.
Did we? I don't know. It's a great game.
I think so. Yeah. I think I said something about it. It reminded me of my granny's village when I played it, and a little bit of the Archers.
Yeah, definitely Archers.
Soma.
Sorry, but we'll talk about Soma. I mean, I quite intrigued by the game, but I heard it obviously wasn't as good as what people were hoping. Is it the same case in Soma where you cannot actually look at the thing that's chasing you?
I think there's a sort of kind of madness thing.
Yeah.
A little bit like Amnesia, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you looked at it for too long or whatever, you might die. I can't really remember. It was a couple. Well, I played it when it came out, but
not very realistic.
Yeah, it's got the whole, manipulating objects and stuff to progress and all this sort of thing. But yeah, it was enjoyable enough. But I kind of regret paying full price for it. I maybe should have waited.
Yeah.
Until the inevitable sale.
Yeah, well, I'll pick it up for PC. It's currently on sale on, again, Humble Bundle for £16.55. So
wait a little while longer and you'll get it for £1.
I'll hit that 75%, then I'll think about it.
Yeah. Talking of scary games, did you see that they've announced what's it called, Resident Evil? No, I forget what it's called now. Umbrella Corps.
Umbrella Corps, no.
It's a first-person shooter, kind of Counter-Strike-y.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Methodical sort of shooting, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how I feel about that. Could be fun.
I don't know why they've tagged it with Resident Evil. I suppose that's yet
again
to be seen.
Not going to be a Resident Evil game, is it?
No.
I can't see there being much tension.
No, I don't know what Capcom are doing. There hasn't been a good Resident Evil game for many years, in my opinion. They've got this behemoth that is Resident Evil, and they're, to quote South Park, they're raping it.
You're raping Jill and Chris.
Yeah.
Why you do that,
little Rebecca?
Yeah, well, if it's cheap, I might pick it up. But I mean, actually, since we're on new releases, that the Resident Evil HD remake and Resident Evil 0, I think, on one disc. I think that came out as a physical version as well.
Ooh.
It's not too pricey either, so it's a pretty good deal if you haven't played Resident Evil before, or you're interested in the HD remake. You've got your GameCube, obviously, so you don't need that. But I picked up the first one. I haven't picked up 0. I don't really intend to either, because I've heard it's not the best Resident Evil game, and I still haven't played all the way through the HD remake, the original one. So I might pick that up if it's cheaper. I might buy the disc version when it's at a reasonable price.
Did you give up on the Resident Evil remake?
I wasn't ready for that sort of nostalgia. I mean, I was ready for the nostalgia of the game. I just wasn't ready for the fucking typewriter and the fucking inventory. Right.
Yeah. And yet you're getting on fine with Final Fantasy. That's interesting.
I've settled right in like an old fucking pair of sweatpants to Final Fantasy 7. I don't know why. Because I thought, oh god, random encounters, turn-based fucking stuff, equipping materia, And then I loved it.
I'm actually moist listening to that. I mean, it sounds good to me.
I know, you're already thinking of your childhood. But I think maybe it's, I don't know what it is. Maybe I've been playing a lot more kind of old school games that don't have, just autosave and things like that recently, since I've played Resident Evil. So maybe I slipped into it a bit easier,
Yeah.
But I mean, that came out on disc. Another thing that's been out already, but has come out on a complete disc, is Life is Strange as well, which is good for me because I kind of missed the initial hubbub of it, and then everyone died down, and I was like, hey, have you guys played Life is Strange? And everyone was like, shut the fuck up, Sam, that was months ago. But now, because it's coming out again, there's people that are picking it up and want to talk about it a little bit, which, like I say, is good for me.
You see, I mean, you're the one who recommended it. In fact, you and at least 2 other folks recommended it to me to play. So when it was in a Steam sale, I bought all of them and then tanned it all to try and catch up with you. And it was like, oh man, I've only got up to like the 3rd episode or something. I was like, oh, did you like that bit? And you were like, not what? Try not to spoil it for you after you tell me about it.
I know. You just barreled on ahead, fucking willy-nilly, and I think life got in the way. I had to. Life is strange. Sometimes I had to do other things. And I didn't get round to finishing it. See that there? See that? I don't know. Are you going to pick up Tomb Raider?
Nope.
Anyway, only because I know that came out for PC Master Race to enjoy.
Well, no time soon. Let's have a look. I've got Steam open, and it's probably, I think I saw it on the front page, but skimmed over it.
When you saw the price?
Probably. And because it's on Steam, I know it'll be in a sale in like a couple of months' time. Easter sale, that'll be the next one.
Yeah.
To be fair, I mean, you've not played many of the Uncharted games, have you?
I have played a grand total of 0. Fuck, stop making me look bad, man.
Well,
I've not played any of these ones. I guess they're all PS3, which is why I've missed them, you know.
that's why you need to steal your sister's PS3. But
She might be listening.
they'll remake them before the fourth one comes out, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you play the previous Tomb Raider then?
I did, yeah. I quite enjoyed it, actually.
Well,
I thought it was alright.
they're essentially the same game in my experience. Although I did like the last Tomb Raider, but haven't liked the Uncharted game yet.
Yeah, because you were playing through them on PS3, were you?
I was, yeah. I finished the first one and got to the final boss of the second one, and I really can't be bothered doing the third one.
I remember seeing your Facebook status about, oh look, you know, here comes fucking chest high cover. I know what's going to happen.
the Woody and Buzz, yeah, chest high walls everywhere. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, Gears of War style, you know.
I mean, it did suffer from, like, you do a bit of like climbing up the side of a building, doing a wee bit of a puzzle platforming bit, and then you'd enter a room that was vast and had chest high walls everywhere. It's like, oh, I wonder if I'm going to have to fight something in here. You know, and
many guys.
I mean, you played Last of Us, and I was playing that for about a good couple of hours before I realised it was exactly the same, just with a better storyline.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the whole chest high wall. Like, well, now this is a scripted battle. Here we go. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Last of Us is a funny one for me. So again, you know, like you, I may not enjoy Uncharted 4 that much. I didn't really like the combat in Last of Us that much.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us, I think, because again, I came to it when the PlayStation 4 remake came out, so I missed the initial buzz for it. I mean, the intro was incredible. Really, really good intro. And then it was all kind of downhill for me from there. I think maybe it was overhyped for me. And, you know, everyone said, fuck, you have to play this game. It's the best game ever. Story's amazing. You'll cry so much. I didn't cry once. Not once.
The story was good.
I swear.
I really enjoyed the story. I mean, I watched somebody play it on YouTube because I'm lazy. 3 hours that thing was. Anyway, yeah. Story-wise, awesome. Gameplay-wise, it was really repetitive and really shit.
That's it. You know, maybe I was a little bit harsh on the story. I didn't mean that. But if it wasn't for the story, I definitely wouldn't have completed it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have carried through on just the combat and I didn't think particularly great stealth and all that sort of stuff as well. Plus clickers, man. Fucking clickers.
Yeah. I don't know. Really unenthusiastic about anything that Naughty Dog has done since Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. Am I right in saying Crash Team Racing was the last one they did, wasn't it?
Pass. I didn't even play that. I know you're a big fan now. It's just Mario Kart.
Oh, it's not just fucking Mario Kart, pal. It's more than that.
Touched the nerve, right?
It's I'm not even going to start. Me and you one day, I'll get a multi-tap. We'll get some beers. I'll get the bees round and fucking tan some CTR because you're missing out, I swear. I'm doing the Last of Us thing now to you. It's got an amazing storyline though, I tell you.
But yeah, as far as Uncharted goes, Tomb Raider was certainly the better platforming adventure game that I played.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a Tomb Raider game. Obviously, there wasn't many tombs, the optional tombs, you know, that we've all heard so much about. But yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was, you know. And the bow and arrow was pretty satisfying.
Apparently, the new one's just more of the same, and well, if it ain't broke, you know.
Yeah. I think they've nailed the formula now, and everyone was pretty happy with it. Despite the fact, again, I think we mentioned this last week, but they moaned about how many sales they got or whatever, which was still a pretty big number, I think. But you know, these massive corporations, they have to cover their costs, so it's fair enough for them to moan.
Well, Square Enix.
Yeah, Enix. Love those guys, love them. I'm not trying to get anyone to sponsor us this week.
No.
I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that.
You don't. Square Enix aren't going to sponsor you. They'll try and...
This is a DIY podcast.
They'll sell off like the first 10 minutes of the podcast and then like hold the rest of it behind like a paywall or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other thing that I saw was coming out was, again, you might have already played this, PC guy, but this War of Mine, which I've heard a little bit about. I've watched a couple of videos, but it's not particularly interesting to watch. I don't think it's the sort of game that is very, very interesting to watch. But yeah, it looks quite good. Apparently there's kids in the PS4 version, but you can't kill them. So
right.
What's the fucking point?
The old Fallout 3, you can't kill kids thing.
Yeah, Skyrim all over again, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've got it on my wish list. I've seen it come down as low as a £5, so yeah, I'll pick it up at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks interesting. I think it's, from what I've seen, it's like you have to go about collecting resources for like a building or something, is it? I don't...
Yeah, I think you're sort of a group of survivors.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you say, you've got to go out and gather resources. People will get sick. I also think you get raiders and stuff like that who'll come. So, you know, it's whether you leave a few folks at home to guard, you send a few people out to scavenge. Obviously, the people that go out can get into fights and things like that. So I think it's balancing resources and all this sort of stuff, you know.
Survival sim, is it?
Yeah, that's the term. You've nailed it. A survival sim.
So is it kind of like
Although
that zombie game that you played? The one where you had to go about and, like, I think you had to hold up in a church is as far as I got.
Zombie Army Trilogy.
No. Again, it was like a third person. You go about, you hit zombies over the face, and then there's an indie game for the Xbox 360.
Dying Light.
No.
Nope.
Indie. Think more indie.
God, there's been a lot of zombie games. Hold up in a church. I can't even think, man. Maybe it'll come to me, but I think you're right though. I think it's a side view sort of 2D thing. I don't think it's anything too extravagant. Like, God, that's really bothering me now. I've played a lot of zombie games. I'm sorry, I can't think which one it is.
I'm actually looking up, see if I can find it. Let's speak about something else.
Zombie. That was the port from Zombie U, which I also paid $24.99 for. Didn't particularly enjoy that one either. I'm just a miserable bastard. I think I'm jaded on zombie games now, you know. I think they've been done.
Yeah, they haven't been good since Resident Evil, in my opinion. But
well, I think you've probably always heard about my fascination with DayZ, which is a game I'd really like to get into. But again, I need the PC, and I think it's probably dead now. I think it's past its prime, you know.
Pass. Don't know.
While you're looking for the game, I was watching just before we did the podcast. Actually, I was watching I was watching a TV program. Oh, what was it called? Murder Games on BBC Three, I think, last night. But it was about a kid who got groomed by like a 19-year-old or something while he was playing Rust, and the guy killed him in his flat or something like that. It was pretty interesting. Wow. It was nice to see gaming getting a shout out on BBC Three.
And how it's evil and nobody should ever play games because you'll get killed.
Oh, the reenactments, man, they were fucking god awful. Guy running around with a rocket launcher and that, and then like zooming in on his eyes. Dun dun dun. Definitely worth a watch on catch up though if you're in the UK. If you want to, no, I'm not going to say good laugh because obviously somebody lost their life. That's not funny, but it's just the reenactments, man. Fuck. Like you say, if they want to sensationalize anything enough, they've definitely achieved that.
Is that like a homage to that episode where Homer Simpson makes a film and you always know it's the dog because of the shifty eyes?
Yeah. Always zooms in on an animal's eyes, you know.
Yeah.
I think BBC are doing a run on like there's a program about trolls on tonight or something like that. So
Nice.
I think they're really trying to crack into popular culture, popular online culture. Maybe they'll have a program about memes next. You know, the origins of Bachelor Frog and all this.
Wow.
Do you remember Bachelor Frog?
The foul bachelor frog. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
Back
Courage
in the days of
Wolf.
4chan. Rage Wolf.
I'll always forget. I'll never forget my favourite Courage Wolf, which was the Danger Wank or whatever, and it was you have to start wanking and then call your mum and dad into the room and finish while looking them in the eyes.
Yeah. That game was called State of Decay.
State of Decay, fuck! Love that game. Seriously love that game. What a good game.
Yeah,
I
survival.
nearly bought an
sim.
Xbox One for it.
Is that,
You got it, did you not?
Yeah, I got as far as the church and then didn't play.
Yeah.
I went through a phase of buying games en masse and didn't really finish any of them. Like I had to actually log into my Xbox account there to have a look at the games that I bought, and I've got DuckTales.
You got a fair library, have you?
I got DuckTales, the remastered one from the NES.
Oh, I remember that coming out, yeah.
I got Sleeping Dogs, which I quite liked what I played of it.
There's a remake on PS4 as well.
I mean, it seemed alright. I didn't see anything wrong with it. So I bought
I heard
State
good
of
things.
Decay.
It was kind of GTA Kung Fu, was it not?
Yeah, pretty much. So I've got DuckTales, State of Decay, Sleeping Dogs, Far Cry, Blood Dragon, and obviously I got GTA 5 because that's the next game I played, and just didn't play anything apart from that. Oh, and Lara Croft.
The Destiny of the Last Generation.
Yeah, one of the Lara Croft games. You know, the isometric
The Cyrus ones or whatever.
puzzle thing. Yeah, so I quite enjoyed that as well, but didn't really play it.
Yeah, that was one of the free ones, was it?
Yeah.
Or was that on PS4? I've got loads of sort of games with gold and stuff, and I bought a few as well, so I think I've got a decent sort of library. I've got Dark Souls on there. That was one of the free games as well.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I still go back to my Xbox occasionally. That and State of Decay. Last time I switched on my Xbox was to play a bit of State of Decay.
See, I was surprised you couldn't remember the name of it, but yeah.
I'm ashamed of myself now, man. I consider it one of my favourite games. I really enjoyed it, and they did a remake for Xbox One, which I think was like, well, maybe 1080p, 60 frames per second or something, but the old one is pretty juddery, but I think they made a really good game for being at that time, and I think they still are. I think they got bought over by Microsoft, but the company was called Undead Labs, and yeah, I thought they made a really decent game for being a small studio, but I followed that game all the way up to launch.
Is there an end game to that game, or is it like you survive until you die?
You survive until you die. They released a couple of other sort of expansions. There was one which was kind of shit, where basically you, at the end of like clearing out the map or whatever, you could build an RV and go to a new map, which was the same map but more zombies and less resources. So you know you could technically go on indefinitely, although I'd imagine it would get really, really fucking difficult.
Okay.
And then they released a standalone sort of DLC, which was kind of, I can't remember what it was called now, Breakdown or Lifeline or some generic thing, but you basically played as an army officer, or you could switch between different army people and stuff, and you were in a new area in a kind of crowded up city, but it didn't feel quite as open as the original one did. It was a bit more linear, so I never really got into that one too much. I want to say it was called Lifeline, but I think all that's included in the Xbox redo for Xbox One, so if you are interested, I would recommend that game highly. Don't think Kyle would, but
No. Well, I didn't play it long enough to form an opinion.
you should give it another shot, man. You should give it another shot.
I'll have to dust off the 360.
Yeah, it doesn't get a lot of action these days. I played a little bit of Bioshock Infinite as well recently. Just because I wanted to experience the story again. I don't think I quite grasped it the first time round.
I struggled to get it to run on my Mac, and therefore gave up when. I mean, I think I got fairly close to the end, but there was something that there was, I think, more than 3 folks on the screen at any one time, and
Okay.
yeah.
It was really juttery on Xbox as well. I think I struggled to go back and play shooters on the Xbox 360 just because they feel a bit clunky. I don't know why. Probably running at slightly lower frames per second, I guess, than the new things. Not that I really notice that kind of stuff. I'm not too into that, but yeah, I think we've definitely covered all the new releases. We've talked some other shite in between. There's not a whole lot news-wise, you know. Been a bit of a slow week. If you wanted, you could get your Pokemon pre-orders in. I've been thinking about ordering one, but I'm not going to do it. They're 80 quid.
I saw that. What's it? Yeah, it's just a 2DS though, isn't it? It's the one that has
that's
the
the
Pokemon
thing.
things.
If I'm going to go for it, I might as well get 3DS, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, because it's got the painting on the outside, but you can't fold it over, and does it even do 3D? I don't know.
I don't think the 2DS does it. You could play 3DS games, but it doesn't do the 3D. Not that really bothers me, but to be honest, I don't think the console looks that nice either. The Pokemon versions, any of them, they're sort of that see-through kind of cheap-looking plastic to me. So it's not something that I'm going to invest in. I don't think. I think I'll just get a copy of Leaf Green or something like that.
Yeah. So
Fire Red.
What's next on the news? You were dying to talk about this RPG.
We could talk about. What's his name? Scott Hawthorne and his Five Nights at Freddy's World.
Please do. Have you played any of the Five Nights at Freddy's?
I've never played one. I've obviously watched all the YouTubers screaming and playing it and faking that they're really scared. Mark Blair, whatever his name is. I can't help but like that guy. He's a nice enough guy, but some of his videos are kind of bullshit, you know. You can't be that scared, and I guess he's got a funny looking face, you know, and a funny voice, so he's quite good at going no, and all the funny noises he makes. But no, I've never played one before. I've seen people play through all of them.
How many are there now? Do you know?
I want to say 3.
3, right?
3 main games, and then I think Five Nights at Freddy's World is 4. I think that's right.
Okay.
They all came out on iOS and Android, I think, or maybe just one of those platforms. So I kind of thought about picking it up just to play when I'm out and about. But what if it is scary and I end up shitting myself in public, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. But, I've watched enough videos that it doesn't really look that intriguing to me.
Did you watch the Jim Sterling ones?
Maybe. Probably.
Oh, I'm just thinking of that. He did a couple on Five Nights at Freddy's World. Because they've taken it off Stream now, you know.
Right, okay.
Steam even.
Ah, right, okay. No, I'll need to give that a go then. I'll need to have a look.
Yeah, it looks god awful, to be honest.
So what's the premise? You watched the Jim Sterling one.
Well, I mean, there's like a 2D overworld, I think, that you walk around, and then there's random encounters, and I couldn't tell you what the fuck is going on. Obviously, I'm not playing it, so I don't really know how the combat system works, but I could not tell you what the fuck is going on in the fights. There's pizzas rolling around, there's cupcakes raining down, and I don't really know who's doing what, but you've got basically a party like you have in Final Fantasy VII, and all those other games. But you can switch out characters, and I don't know, characters seem to die really quickly, so I don't know if he was just under-leveled or something like that. I don't even know how the leveling system works. It looks pretty bare bones, which I think is why he's taken it off Steam and wants to make it better.
I see.
Apparently he wants to make a 3D overworld as well. Sorry, we can say.
Is it early access or is it released?
No, it was a full game. And I think people have always said that, you know, although he rushes them out, they maintain a degree of quality, and obviously have that kind of interlinking thing going on. But Five Nights at Freddy's World is awfully different, and I think he's basically in talks with Steam so that what's the cut-off now for getting your refund? Is it 2 hours, something like that? Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I think he's in talks with Steam to let people get their money back whether they played more than 2 hours or not, which is quite a bold move. There's only a few games that have been pulled off Steam that are biggish anyway that I know of. There's that Afro Samurai game, which they basically just said was shit and took down. And then there was obviously Batman as well, good old Batman, which I think is still
good old Warner Brothers.
Still pretty broken, is it not?
Yeah, basically if you have a console, buy a Warner Brothers game for a console, and don't even look at buying it
I've
for
heard
PC.
this.
Yeah.
I've heard that's the thing to do, like, because well, Warner Brothers, I mean, not to jump around too much, but I mean, it's related. They were in the news as well because they're going to cease supporting Mortal Kombat X, I think, for PC. Although they've got sort of DLC coming out for all the console versions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, as far as I know, Mortal Kombat X was pretty broken when it came out, being a Warner Brothers game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people are pretty annoyed at that, especially now they've kind of fixed it and then just ditched it.
Was this even a Jim Sterling thing, where he mentioned the fact that they're bringing out an expansion, but not fixing the main game?
Yeah, no, you're right. I seen that. Yeah, so yeah, maybe they haven't actually fixed it up that much.
Yes.
Warner Brothers, what have you done? What are you doing now?
So this
But I think it's a bold move for him to. What's that?
This is why I'm firmly in the bucket of shit category rather than prove me otherwise.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely a bold move to take it off Steam, and I guess it shows that he's maybe got some form of care for his work.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we'll get a really, really good RPG experience out of Five Nights at Freddy's World when it comes back. A really deep, rewarding experience.
Like Final Fantasy, just a reskin with Friday Night at Freddy's characters.
Yeah. Some sort of clued animatronic puppet or something like that. I think it had really good ratings on Steam though. Well, I think it was about 87% very positive.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so.
Fair enough.
Apparently so. So usually people are pretty quick to judge on Steam,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people were all just doing it for a laugh, ironically. There isn't, like I say, it's been a slow week, and I've been keeping an eye on the game pages and all this sort of stuff, seeing if there's anything interesting.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's not much to be said on it, but Total Biscuit leaving social media again.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he's already disabled comments, and I think at one point he was only communicating through Reddit. But whether that's any better than YouTube comments, I'm not sure. But like I say, you've not been able to comment on one of his videos for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But fair play to the guy. Whatever he's got to do. Obviously, he's suffering from a pretty shitty disease. Whatever he's got to do to, do something positive. I think it's good. It doesn't affect his content for me or anything like that. I don't always agree on his opinions and things like that, but I keep up to date with most of the podcasts and things like that, so they'll still be going. I don't know if you watch a lot of Total Biscuit.
I don't watch a lot of them at all.
I think you'd probably like him, Kyle. He actually reminds me a little of you, And me
Really?
to a degree. I think he's a glass half empty kind of guy.
Anyone that reminds me of myself is a good guy in my book.
Exactly, you'd go for a drink with that guy.
Yeah.
But like I say, I don't know if it's really news because he's done it before, but I think this really could be it now.
Okay. I'll give him a look.
Yeah, definitely check out I think they do a podcast every week as well, which is pretty decent. Good listening. If you got their ones are usually pretty long as well. So.
Wait, what about their podcast? If anybody fancies giving us a logo, then,
yeah, Budding Graphic Designers. The problem is I only know punks, man. Unless we want like a fucking, half a fucking face that's been shotgunned with like some sort of font over it. I don't really know anyone who can do us a nice smooth graphic. But if you think you've got a smooth graphic style and you're one of the 3 people that's going to listen this week, get in touch. Email us. We need an email.
Well, you can sort that out. Send it to the YouTube thing.
Yeah, just do a YouTube message or SoundCloud message or something like that. I'm still trying to get to grips with SoundCloud, but I think that's it anyway. We'll be back whenever we feel like it, because we're fucking like that, We don't go by any rules, but I'm predicting it'll probably be at least another week or so. We'll maybe wait for something to happen. There's a couple of new releases coming out soon, so we can cover those when they come out. But
yeah,
I reckon we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Hope you enjoyed yourself, Kyle. It was good to have you again.
It's good chatting. Always is.
Yeah, man. Definitely. We'll need to do it again sometime.
Cool. Right.
Wicked. Right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you later on.
Bye.